Hello, and welcome back to the Cooter Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher to talk about Brentford versus Aston Villa. Yes, we're reviewing Villa's trip down to London to play Brentford at the GTEC Community Stadium on Saturday. Our unbeaten record continues. Not the best performance, but I thought we fought hard to come back and get a point and showed a bit of character. And we will be getting into that match and much more after this. Okay, yes, and we were coming off 6 wins in a row, Aston Villa. We were full of life, full of form, absolutely playing some brilliant football, and we were, really confident going down to Brentford. Noah, it was, we don't have a very good record there. Of course, we've been on the end of a few beatings, especially the couple in the championship that where Ollie Watkins was playing, and Dean Smith. There was some Villa connections there from back in the days, but we're in a far better place now. And even though, we didn't really put in a very good performance, and a few of our star players were probably off the boil a bit, I thought to come back and get a point showed a lot of courage and a lot of character.
Yeah, I'm pretty thrilled with the point, to be honest. When you look back on the game, I think that if you're a Brentford fan watching this, you'll probably be pretty gutted that you haven't come away with the 3 points. They've had some massive chances in the first half. I know we had that Emi Buendia one early on, which I thought was goal bound myself, but Brentford from the start of the second half, they absolutely peppered us, and they could have easily scored 2, 3, 4 goals before they even scored that first one anyway. And they're a class team. They've only lost twice at home this year, I believe it is. So, they're having an outstanding season in the top 10 for a reason. They've obviously had a bit of a drop off the last couple of weeks, but to the way we fought back in that game, I didn't think we would. I honestly didn't think we would have fought back and got a point. I thought we looked pretty poor until the last really 10 minutes. I mean, it all started to click for us. It was kind of after they scored the triple substitution. I guess Luca Digne getting kicked in the head probably fired the boys up a little bit as well. I don't know how that wasn't given as a foul, but it was actually quite a well-worked goal, and happy that Douglas Luiz is back on the score sheet.
Yeah, definitely. I think we really did click into gear in that last sort of 15, 20 minutes, which was great. And coming off the Newcastle victory, there was always going to be a bit of a dip, maybe sometime between the end of the season. Just before we go any further, just thank you so much for all your interactions, all your likes and comments from our last video. It was one of our best videos we've ever done. Some really good, feedback and sort of interactions that, it was absolutely a joy for us all week just to read the comments. And you guys are fantastic. And so going into this match, of course, we were full of confidence. And, the first half, I thought Brentford were probably slightly better, but we had a few big chances as well. And, the effort was there, I think, but we were just like that final pass was quite sloppy. Buendia had a weird match because, I kind of think he played well in some respects. Like everything was going through him. He was finding good areas, good pockets of spaces, but then his final ball would let him down, or his touch, and it was a little bit frustrating. Probably, he'd probably go home thinking he probably could have had a couple of goals and a couple of assists, but, it wasn't his day really in final product, but I still think he played well and he was important for us. He obviously gets the assist in the end for Douglas Luiz. But the guy like Ollie Watkins, Jacob Ramsey, John McGinn, not having their best game at all. They were all very quiet. And in that final third, we just took the wrong option too many times.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard day to be one of the front players, I guess, because Ollie Watkins, I think he had the least amount of touches, I believe the commentator said, up to half-time, 9 touches, I think it was, in the first half. And that's very unlike him because he's normally getting the ball so often. But as you said, the final ball kind of let us down, everyone's touches. I mean, in the second half, Jacob Ramsey had that chance. He got to level it a little bit earlier, but he put it over the bar. And, I'd back JJ to score that 9 times out of 10 as well, seeing the form he's in. He's probably in the form of his career at the moment under Unai Emery, and it just seemed not to be going our way. Like, as you said, the touches, the final passes. I think Ollie Watkins had the ball in a bit of space. He's had to play it through to Traore, and he just hit it straight to the defender. I've gone, it's just not going to be our day. But as soon as we start playing good football, we're very, very hard to stop. And we could have actually won it late if Watkins had left it for Buendia.
Yeah, and yeah, there was a lot of pressure in that final sort of 10, 15 minutes. Traore looked lively when he came on, I thought. The triple substitution seemed to work. I think Digne, sort of put his name forward for maybe getting more game time. He had a good last 20 minutes there. And of course, there was the halftime substitution of Emi Martinez that we were all coming back into the second half, like why is Olsen out there? It was like, what's happening here? No, this is my worst nightmare. And I could see in the comments of the social media post, like everyone was like, well, that's it, we've lost. But I actually think he did okay. There was obviously that moment where he saves the header but can't hold on to it, and they missed an absolute glorious chance. I think it was Sade, is it? The guy, the guy that plays on the left-hand side for them. He was quite quick, quite a good player. And I was a bit worried for Olsen, but after that moment, that initial moment where it was a little bit dodgy, a little bit dicey, but he keeps the header out, and he doesn't foul the striker. I thought, on a different day, he could tap his ankle there and give away a penalty. So, he made him try and put it in, and he missed, and we, survived another day. So, full credit to him. I think, he can hold his head up high. He couldn't have done anything about the goal. That was a very disappointing moment for Ashley Young, of course. He's had such a great season, as we will probably talk about a bit later. But unfortunately, not his best moment, trying to clear the cross with his right foot when maybe his left foot would have been the better option.
Yeah, I mean, as you touched on, he's been outstanding this season. I guess it's one of those moments where we were absolutely under the pump. They were just peppering our goal. I don't think we got over halfway for 10 minutes. It felt like we could never clear it. And I guess one of those moments, Ashley Young just thought, just get anything on it, just absolutely get it out. And it just didn't work at the time, because 9 times out of 10, he makes the right decision and we cleared the ball. But when Brentford were playing as good as they did, like in that period of time, I don't think anyone was going to keep a goal out, because they were just absolutely peppering our goal. Olsen or Martinez or Manuel Neuer, whoever you want to say, that Brentford was scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, anyone was sort of felt like we were robbed when Brentford won 1-0 up. It was one-way traffic. It was, they have this style of play that is so difficult to contend with. You've got to really take your hat off to Thomas Frank and the players and the club itself, the way that they've recruited. I mean, a lot of these guys, you wouldn't be able to name unless you were a Brentford fan. But they rock up every week. They challenge. They throw balls into the box. They're very quick, and they've got some really talented, skillful players. It's not just all, long throws and crosses into the box, which they are very good at. Mbeumo, these guys, they're great players. They are really good players. Tony, of course, is fantastic. I'm sure he'll get a big move in the summer. And we were under the pump, and I actually was kind of worried about this game going into it. I thought this is a potential banana skin. This is a game where we're going to get tested in a different sort of way as to maybe previous games under Emery. And, he's coming from Spain, a different environment. Has he played many teams like Brentford maybe over the years? Probably not. So, I was really interested to see when we went 1-0 down, what he was going to do. And he changed the system to more of a 3-5-2 in that last 15 minutes. He brings on Chambers, Digne, and Traore. Takes off McGinn. Who else came off? Ashley Young,
I think.
And Moreno.
It wasn't McGinn, I don't think. Did McGinn come off?
I thought it was McGinn. I might be wrong. But
maybe it was. I thought McGinn was out there till the end.
Okay, well, let us know in the comments who came off. But anyway, we changed the shape slightly, went to more of like a 3 at the back, 5 in midfield. It worked straight away. I think we decided to sort of match them up man for man, and say, all right, let's just go one-on-one here, and we'll play your system and we'll see if we can beat you at it. And in that last, sort of 10, 15 minutes, they were hanging on. Once we equalized through a great goal, Buendia, marvelous little pass, just to have the composure to pick out Luis there, and Luis just opened up his body, lovely little side foot finish, and that's a huge goal for us. That's a huge goal for us because we played awful. We didn't deserve a point. We deserved to get beat. If it was a boxing match, we would have lost on points. And we managed to get that goal, keep this run of 19 games now, scoring for a new manager. That is a Premier League record. So well done to Unai Emery and the team for that. 19 games in a row with a goal in a manager's first 19 games. Never been done before in Premier League history. Well done. And, it was a huge goal because it keeps the unbeaten run going. It gives us a valuable point. And we got Fulham on Tuesday now at home. And, if we win that one, 4 points from those two games, that's a good effort.
100%. Obviously, I'm more worried about the players being pretty tired. It's kind of been a full-on couple of weeks, I guess, mentally, physically. The media starting to talk about us a little bit more, making you from this charge, which you haven't had for a very, very long time, of Villa making the top 6. But back on to Brentford quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They have done a remarkable job as a club to be in the position they are, because the Premier League, as we found out, is an incredibly hard league to stay in. And if you got a team like Nottingham Forest that has spent 200+ million on a bunch of good players and they still can't quite get it together, it's just proving how difficult, like how the gap is between the Championship and the Premier League, because they have done a fantastic effort. What's this, their second season?
At least their third, I think. Yeah.
It might be, I don't know.
No, I think it's their third. But yeah,
I think
Tony's been around a while.
But Tony was in there last year in the Championship. I think it could be their second year up. I think
possibly. I think they've done a great job. I think their manager it's another sign. If you've got a proper manager, you don't need to have the best teams on paper. You don't have to have, the superstar players. You can grind results out, and you can have a game plan that works. And he's certainly done that. And I think he will go to a bigger club one day, but I think he's just sort of enjoying his time at Brentford and this sort of fairy tale story of this club that had never been in the top flight, I think, before.
Not in the Premier League. They've been in the
not
top
in the Premier
League, but their recruitment strategy has just been remarkable, because you got to think, right? They had this amazing striker, Scott Hogan, Championship beast. We buy him. They bring in Ollie Watkins from League Two.
Yeah.
Absolute beast. Sells him to Aston Villa. They bring in a League One Ivan Toney, who's now one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Yeah. The way they've done it, I believe they use the Moneyball system or something.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Moneyball.
Similar to Brighton, this sort of, Moneyball kind of looking at players that might have been rejects at other clubs and, just trying to find a home for them and somewhere where they can feel comfortable. You got Ben Rama, of course, that went through that team. Mope.
They've had their team gutted, Scott, at least twice I can think of, because we took Conser off them as well. Remember, we took they've had their team gutted like 2 or 3 times. They just managed to just find absolute gems, which is such a hard thing to do. So full credit to them, honestly.
And and they've beaten Man United this year. They've beaten Man City. They've they have a style of play that even the top teams can struggle with, because they're very physical. They're very in your face. They attack. But they can defend as well. They've got some tough players. It was a bit of a fight for us. There was some sort of niggly yellow cards and, challenges early and that sort of thing. So it was always going to be one of those games that we were going to have to turn up for the fight. And I thought we did that throughout the game, even in that period in the second half where they were on top of us and dominating. We never sort of threw our rag in like maybe we possibly have, under previous regimes. We stuck in the game and got a point out of it. And that is the sign of a good team. And that's such a such a positive from this match and something we can take into the rest of these matches coming up. 6 more games to go for Villa. 6 cup finals, as Emi Martinez said famously after the Newcastle win. 7 cup finals. We've been through this one. We've got a draw. It's a good point. And let's look forward to Fulham because I think that if we get 3 points there, we're still in this race for Europa League.
Oh, 100%. And I think we should go in full confidence at home. I know Fulham actually playing decent football at the moment, even without Mitrovic. I know they beat Everton, they beat Leeds on the weekend, but it seems like anyone can beat Leeds at the moment. Sadly, they're still in that relegation battle, but at home, Villa Park's going to be packed out. One of my mates is going to be there again for his second Villa game, so he hasn't seen them lose, fingers crossed, yet. But Villa Park's going to be rocking again under the lights. We all know it's a special place under the lights, and we'll see what happens from there, but I'm back in 3 points for Villa.
Okay, and let's move on to the next thing we want to promote, and that's Player of the Season poll. It's on YouTube, so go to the community page on YouTube. You'll see the poll there. It's already up, and we've got who is your Aston Villa Player of the Season for season 22-23, and take us through it, Noel. What are the options?
Yeah, well, so just Roger actually put a comment on the last episode. He's been commenting on the last few. We've been taking
Thanks,
those.
Rog, for your support.
Yeah, absolute legend bringing this one up because obviously it's something we did want to do. We need to go through and review the season, getting to that point. Sadly, the season's coming to an end. Who would have thought? But he goes, "Hey lads, we're getting that time of year where people want to know your opinion on who should be on the shortlist for Player of the Season." So we've made the poll on our community tab. I'm also going to post it on Twitter. So chuck us a follow on the Twitter, which is always at the top of the channel on the top there. Click the Twitter logo. But we've gone, in our opinion, you and I just discussed it, Scott. We've got Ashley Young, Tyrone Mings, Douglas Luiz, Ollie Watkins, and Emi Martinez.
Yep. So they're your 5 options. If you think it's somebody else, you can always just write it in the comments. But I think it's going to come out of one of those 5 for sure. And it's so hard. I mean, I think I'm going to save my pick maybe for next week once we talk about the poll and maybe when we've got everyone else here. That'd be good. But there's 3 or 4 real contenders in all 5 of them really. But they're you could pretty much go anyway depending on how you're looking at the season.
I mean, 100%. And the season hasn't been as straightforward as it now looks.
No.
When we were struggling, like players like Emi Martinez, Douglas Luiz, I know Tyrone Mings was in and out, so he's kind of peaked a little bit later. Ashley Young was being consistent throughout, but Ollie Watkins, peaked since the World Cup. So it's been a difficult season, but these guys, like any of them could win it, in my opinion. And there could even be a surprise pack. I know we were talking about Jacob Ramsey as well, potentially. John McGinn's had a good second half of the season.
Kamara had a good season while he was actually playing, but he's been unfortunately injured for a while, so that took him out of the running, I think, in our poll. But let us know what you think in Twitter, on the YouTube community page. Get on there, vote, comment, and we will announce that next week. Not after the Fulham match. We'll do it after the next match, which I think is Manchester United. Is that correct?
After the Fulham match, it is Manchester United.
Yes, that's right. So that's another big one. Looking forward to that. They're going through a bit of a mini crisis right now with, their exit from the Europa League and, injuries. And yes, they got the FA Cup final, semi-final tonight against Brighton, which I think they're probably not favourites in. I would say maybe they are with the bookies, but I would say Brighton are probably favourites going in the way they're playing and the way De Zerbi's got them going. So that's going to be interesting to see us play them, after that. Harry Maguire at the back having a bit of a nightmare. So hopefully Ollie Watkins can give him a few more nightmares coming, but it's Fulham next. That's the one we've got to focus on. So let's look forward to that one, Noah. And let's do you have a prediction for me? Fulham at home, no Mitrovic, but they're coming off 2 wins.
Do I have a prediction for you, Scott? Gee whiz, of course I do. Not going to be like Tommy's 7-0.
Yeah, that didn't. I said at halftime. I said in the group chat. I said, "Tommy, your 7-0's not looking too good."
Look, he got close. Nah. I'm going to go. We're pretty good at home. We're pretty compact at home. We're pretty hard to beat at home recently. I'm going to go to routine 2-0 Villa. And I'm going to go
2-0 Villa.
a brace for Ollie Watkins.
I'm going to say 3-1 Villa. I think we'll get back in form. I think Ollie Watkins will, have a good game. I'll put him down for 1 goal, and I'll say Jacob Ramsey with 1, and maybe Duran off the bench. I was surprised actually Duran didn't come on in this game.
Yeah, I thought the game was screaming for him, Scott. And a guy I've been messaging, old mate Troy Eccles, had a bit of back and forth throughout the game. We're having a bit of a chat about it. And I put, literally, I think this might have been at halftime. Watkins done nothing, get Duran on. Yeah. And the reason I said that is Duran is tall, he's agile, he's quick, and he's something different. If you're Brentford, right, you're going to work on all week on how to defend Ollie Watkins, and they did it bloody well. I know our final ball wasn't great to him, but I think the game was screaming for Duran.
I think taking off Watkins when you need a goal probably isn't the sort of thing that Emery would do. But he could have come on, for one of the attacking midfielders and
100%,
played 2 up top, or maybe Buendia, but Buendia ends up getting the assist. So it worked out in the end, and Traore was lively and gave us something a bit different on that right hand side. So
my man.
It's worked out pretty well. What do you think about Dendoncker? Do you think he'll keep his place going forward? I mean, let's say Bailey comes back from injury, right? Would you rather see McGinn go back into that more midfield or Kamara go into there? I guess when Kamara's fit, he'll come in too. But it does seem like when we've got McGinn on that sort of right-hand side and playing a bit more forward, that we don't sort of have the legs on the counter-attack that we maybe do when we have Traore or Bailey.
I mean, Dendoncker's earned his shirt right now. I really think he's earned his shirt, especially against Newcastle. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And, for what we like, it's a Gerrard signing, I don't know how much we paid for him, but it wasn't a lot. And everyone was kind of a bit surprised we bought him. But in this system, he could be very good, especially while Kamara's out. If I don't see Kamara being rushed back for the Fulham game, maybe United, I'm not sure the extent of his injury, because he came back and then I think did he go off at half time or something against Leicester?
Yeah, he got a bit of a, like he rolled his ankle or something, I think, against Leicester. That was the one where Martinez played him a silly pass and he sort of got tackled and they almost scored from it. But he came off and they said it was only precautionary. And then we were thinking, he's going to be back for the next game, but he hasn't been in the squad at all since. So, that's a bit concerning. But, at least, the rest of the team are contributing, and we do have probably more cover in those midfield areas than anywhere else on the field. If Ollie Watkins went down or, someone like that, then, it could be a bit of a worry. Diego Carlos is another one that hasn't featured. He's been back from injury for a while now, and I know McGinn, Mings and Conser have been playing well, but not even like couple of minutes off the bench at the end of the game, or I've been surprised that we haven't seen him at all. Maybe they're just being extra careful and wrapping him in cotton wool, but
I think that's what it is, Scott. He did his Achilles. If he's not needed, why bring him in? They're giving Chambers those minutes off the bench. For example, if I think like Conser or Mings got a red card, like 45 minutes into the game, they'd bring Carlos on. But when you're trying to shoot up a game, I think Chambers a little bit more dynamic than Carlos. I think he could, like, Chambers play right back and play DM.
Yeah.
Carlos is literally, I think, a constant replacement. That's how I see him. And I think put him in cotton wool for the year, give him another preseason. You may as well rest his ankle, to be honest.
Yeah.
Look after him. It was a pretty horrific injury. I can't believe it was only the second game into the season, which was so hard to believe. And
typical Villa.
Yeah, it was typical Villa, but Conser and Mings have played outstanding. Like they really have played outstanding, and I give them full credit because Tyrone Mings had a terrible start to the season. Not only losing the captaincy, getting called out by Gerrard, it just wasn't going his way, and it was looking like he could be out of Villa. Like it really was looking like he could be done. And could you have blamed him? Probably not. And I know Villa fans are a little bit mixed on it, but he's been unbelievable this season, and full credit to him as a professional and as a player.
Absolutely. And yeah, well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. It's been not our best performance, but we fought hard and we got the point. And we wouldn't have done that, under previous managers. I think we would have lost that game. So there's plenty of positives to take out. We got Fulham on Tuesday night. It's a big one. We'll be back after that match for another review. So please keep your comments coming, keep your subscribes and your likes. It helps us out so much. And Noah's also got a little surprise for us.
Yeah, so I want everyone to kind of keep their eyes on the socials. There's something special coming that someone could win down the track. Hopefully when they arrive. They haven't arrived yet. There's a little bit something coming that I really want to give back to the people that really supported us and everything. So keep an eye. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, TikTok as well. Follow us on all those platforms. There'll be a little bit something coming up, hopefully very soon for you guys.
Some surprises in the offing, and yes, please get in onto the socials and do vote on the poll, because we want to know who you think should win Villa's Player of the Season. There's I think it's going to be quite close out of the 5 options we've given. So let us know, who do you think's had the best season in 22-23, and we will see you all after Fulham. Up the Villa. See you later.